Hello, I'm Squire Slum King, and today we're gonna be talking about Izuku Midoriya's quirk that he would have had if he inherited the quirks of his parents, which was fire breath from his father and attraction of small objects or objects with his mom. So let's start with talking about both of the quirks. So his mother, her quirk would be pretty good in some scenarios, but it wouldn't be that helpful of a quirk, because the only thing it can do is bring objects towards you, and as all we saw, she brought small objects, and the biggest object we saw was an action figure. But I am assuming that Izuku with high potential would be able to bring objects bigger than that. So like, let's highball it and say that Izuku could, farther in the series, be able to pull like cars and vehicles towards him with the attraction thing. But even so, it still doesn't help that much because he can't like throw it back or anything, and it's not telekinesis. I was thinking it was the same thing as telekinesis, but it's not. So you only can pull things towards you, you can't push them away, and you can't hold things in midair, which is kind of dumb, but you know, that's how the quirk is. So that wouldn't help much, but I guess like maybe if someone was throwing or shooting projectiles at you, maybe you could use the quirk to bring it towards you and then like jump out of the way or something. Yeah, that's a huge disadvantage, that you cannot push objects or things away or hold them in midair. But yeah, and also while doing the quirk, you have to like move your hands and stuff. You can't just like have it come towards you with your mind. You have to move your hands for objects to come towards you, as we saw in like episode 1 of My Hero Academia. Now on towards his father's, which is, you know, is just fire breath. That's very simple. And this quirk would be, of course, the more dominant quirk, and it would help a lot more for Izuku by having fire breath, because, you know, fire can help with a lot of things. Like, for example, it could counter Shoto's fire and his ice. But obviously, like, if it was in a tournament, he would probably run out of stamina eventually, or being able to breathe fire, because he can't breathe fire infinitely. But it would still help in a lot of different scenarios. So having fire breath would be pretty sick, and definitely he would use that a lot more, because he can use it for a lot more scenarios. And I think this fire breath quirk that Izuku had would probably be pretty insanely strong. It would be like Natsu Dragnil's Fire Dragon Roar, and freaking Sasuke's Fire Style Fireball, or any Uchiha's, because pretty much every Uchiha's Fire Style Fireball jutsu is very OP and strong in Naruto, for you Naruto fans. And yeah, that would be lit. So of course Izuku will be using that most of the time, and he could be using both of the things simultaneously. Maybe he like throws objects towards himself, lights them on fire, or maybe he pulls him towards him, lights him on fire midair, and then pushes him towards his opponent with his fire to light up his opponent. That would be pretty cool. But he wouldn't be able to like manipulate his fire, as I was thinking earlier, because I was thinking that his attractiveness to objects is the same thing as telekinesis, as you would be able to move the fire with the telekinesis. That would be so tight if he could just like move his fire midair and make different transformations and formations with the fire. That would be lit, pun intended. But no, he can't do that since it's not telekinesis. But that would be something very interesting to see, but unfortunately we won't. And just to see a what if of what Izuku's quirk would be, because I don't really know what else his quirk would be besides these two quirks. And yeah, but in the end, it still wouldn't be as strong as One For All, because One For All is literally like the strongest quirk, because, you know, All Might has it and he's the strongest hero. So yeah, this is actually better, except for the fact he wouldn't be like hurting himself in battle as Izuku does every time. But you know, we all know that Izuku will eventually overcome this weakness. And of course it's in the manga too. I have not read that, which I will. Anyhow, that's about a wrap. Smash that like button. Let's hit for 10 likes, comment, and subscribe. This is Lump King, and stay fresh.